I'm Ada Bozikov, and this is my final project on CO2 emissions data analysis. So the goal of this project was to scrape emissions data from Worldometer, clean and store it, analyze it, and create a graph using Python libraries like Beautiful Soup, Pandas, SQLA, and Matplotlib. The first part of the methodology was data acquisition, which included scraping and cleaning primarily. First, I used Beautiful Soup to scrape the emissions table from a saved HTML file of the website. One thing that made scraping a little tricky was that the HTML structure had lots of extra tables and adds, so it was important to specifically target the correct table by its class name data table. Otherwise, the code could have scraped the wrong data or crashed. Then I cleaned the data, fixing column names, removing commas, and converting text to numbers, and saved it into both a CSV file and an SQLite database. When web scraping, numbers were usually read as text strings, so I had to manually clean them. Otherwise, calculations like totals or averages wouldn't work correctly. I also created a second table mapping countries to regions, which could be useful for future analysis like grouping emissions by continent. For this project, though, I mainly focused on individual country-level data. Next, I calculated descriptive statistics like the mean, variance, and range of emissions, saving those to another CSV file. Before running statistical analysis, we also replaced missing values with zeros to avoid skewing the results. Then I created a bar graph of the top 10 emitting countries, showing how sharply emissions dropped after China and the United States. As can be seen here, we found that China is the largest emitter by a mile, with the US and India coming in next. A small number of countries are responsible for most emissions, but per person emissions vary a lot between them, and I got that data by looking deeper into the full data set, which had scraped total emissions, per capita emissions, and population data. The main challenges that I faced were making sure numbers were properly cleaned for calculations and graphs, and this project really showed me how important it was to clean data and gave me real practice combining web scraping, SQL, and data visualization. Thanks for watching.